Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 3. And today I'm going to be giving you part 9 of What If Naruto was sent to a parallel multiverse. Remember to get this one to 100 like as usual, share this to all of your friends on your social media platform. And also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto had cheat codes for reality, and enjoy that guys. Over on Anime King 2. And also, remember if you're new and this is the first time you hear my voice, go ahead and check out Anime King 2, Anime King 3. And yes guys, you heard that correctly, they have 3 channels. Anime King 2, Anime King 3, which I post what you find every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and support. And yeah, without further ado, what is to begin this new episode? Start the intro. So the last part we left off, it has been a month and a couple of weeks. As the rumors went around that Naruto was able to hold his own against the X-Rank missing in, people were shocked. But all they kept on saying was that, well, he was a son of Minato Namikaze, as that pissed Naruto off really badly. The man was not responsible for his strength in any shape or form. As it turned out that he was being watched, as he decided to see who was watching him. It was a surprise to find out that he was none other than Arkai. As she revealed herself to him, she spoke to him. Her words were calm and simple, but there was something. As Naruto found it out when she told him that she knew that he was not the person he claimed to be, he tried to play off it as ignorance, that he didn't know what she was talking about. But she had him cornered as she explained a few things that didn't make much sense to her. As Naruto realized he would have to kill her as he attacked her, but as he knocked her in the forest, she revealed her intentions. She didn't want to fight him. She wanted to learn and work with him. Learn what he is exactly. As Naruto raised eyebrows at that, she proved to him that she could be trustworthy, as she told him very many things that he should not know. As Naruto found a lot of this intriguing, well, things that he didn't know yet. It turns out that not even her knew who was under the mask, as she didn't know who exactly he was. His name was X. Minato did not fully trust her with certain things after all. He did not trust her. Well, that was a given because she was not exactly fully trustworthy, seeing that she doesn't like Minato or care about Konoha. All she wants is her knowledge to be pushed forward, to gain immense knowledge. So Naruto told her what he knew. Let's just say she was beyond shocked and excited to learn that there were prospects of other worlds out there. She was already thinking about that fear, but to know that it was actually real, well, she was happy to know. So in doing so, they became partners in a way, as she gave him information on a lot of things, as Naruto was happy for that. At least she was being a good sport about it. So with that out of the way, Naruto had to be prepared for the upcoming Chunin exams, which was not a walk in the park it seems, because he had to sign so much waivers to say that they would be a part of it no matter what. After all, it seems like it was a lot different from in his time, but Naruto could understand why it was done so. It was because Danzo was the Hokage, and the man had did some things to change the village. To make sure the ninjas are strong, that is why the ninjas at the academy learn ninja art before they even graduated, as they got a stack of forms signed by Obito, as Naruto and the others signed theirs. Making their way, they ran into the sand team. Well, Naruto, as Gaara, was different. For one thing, his siblings cared about him and he cared about them, but he didn't seem to be in favor with the rest of his village or his father, judging by the way he talked, as he told Temari and Kankuro to stay away from Naruto at all possible cause. They were confused by that, but Gaara had a gut feeling, and not to mention Shikaku was also telling him something about this boy, as Shikaku could feel his part of his power inside of Naruto, but not fully it seems, as Naruto contains a 10 tail with all of them combined. As Kushina was all over him fussing that him and Mito should be careful out there, while it would be a walk in the park for him. He didn't know why, as he didn't want to make her sad. It was this body of his. These emotions that wasn't really his was reaching out to her, but he shrugged them back inside. As him and Mito made his way as they met up with the other girls, arriving towards the exam room, they were put under genjutsu. Well, not really, it was the hall that was under genjutsu, with a lot of undead coming towards them, as Naruto raised his hand and obliterate everything in his path with a gravitational force, as that shocked all of the examiners, as they couldn't understand what was that explosion, as the cameras were destroyed in the hall. As Naruto made his way when he stepped inside the room, as a grass ninja decided to put his dominance over Naruto, as Naruto showed him that he could not by throwing him through the wall. So yeah guys, so basically that's what I thought you guys can switch across the place and check out for yourself. So to begin this new episode. The girls rounded the corner as he saw the gaping hole. The grass ninja was out cold. What the hell just happened, said Mito, as she looked towards Naruto, who was already causing a fuss as he just stepped inside. He started it, said Naruto. What did you do to him, said Sahara, as she looked at Grass Ninja. As I said, he started it. Well, for once I agree with you, said Sakura. Can't let these guys think that the hidden leaf is weak in any shape or form. Is that right, said Naruto. Yeah, said Sakura as she turned her gaze towards them as she released Kill Intent. Some of the participants turned away, but some of them turned their gaze back to them. As the entire class mustered up their Kill Intent, it wasn't that they were all working together, but they were trying to put down the newcomers. As a wave of Kill Intent smashed into the group, Mito started to sweat a bit, as Sahara clenched her fists, sweating as well. As Hanabi was feeling the pressure bearing on her shoulders, and Hinata was also feeling it as she stepped back a bit. Sakura tried to push her dominance. She was a daughter of two Sanins, she wouldn't let this overcome her, but it was a lot. That is until Naruto stepped by her, confusing her, as he was not being affected in the slightest. As Naruto started to laugh, his laughter confused most people in the area. It was then the place became unsettling. The ninjas inside, Gaara eyes wide, as Temari and Konko felt their breath taken away from them. Not just them, but everyone else. Some of the weaker minded Genins dropped to their knees as they started to scream, as they saw themselves die numerous times, as most of them started to reach for their weapons to kill themselves, get out of the agony. As Naruto's smile was wicked and cruel, the whole building started to shake apart as he was bringing down his chakra, and a dose of Kill Intent that brought up from the Juve and his power combined. It was a fear as he was attacking their fear senses, and it was just too much. Many of them raised their weapons to end their own life, get away from the agony, until Mito grabbed him by the shoulder. Stop, she said, as she realized it was about to be a bloodbath if she didn't stop her brother. As Naruto finally calmed down, a mirthful look was on his face. What the hell was that? Said Sahara, as she couldn't understand what did he just do? What? I scared him, said Naruto, as he chose not to elaborate. Several people there though watched him with keen eyes. The Sand group was one, and there was also another one, a group from Kumo. The Raikage would definitely want to know about this, as they looked at him. Blonde hair, blue eyes, and those marks on his cheek. It was him. That was the son of Minato Namikaze, and that girl beside him, that was his sister, Mito, as their name was known already. Many of the participants here were here to watch them and see what they were capable of. In the back, Ajisai. Yeah, that's him, isn't it? Yeah. As the girl known as Ajisai wiped her brow, she had purple hair that came down to her face like a flower, as she was dressed in a grey suit with a hidden rain forehead protector on her headband. As she and her teammate watched Naruto carefully. As her teammate spoke, she is one of the few that Angel-sama told us to watch and see how powerful he is. Yes, the girl known as Ajisai said, as she watched him carefully. As they were sent here to see how strong Konoha has gotten, and gather intel to bring back to their leader, as that is the cause of many genin being here. After all, Minato had showed them that Konoha was a village not to be trifled with, as the nations want to see if that was still the case. The things that the man had done in the Third Great War, the things that he did to people, well, they knew that they weren't supposed to trifle with the leaf. But many nations were tired of the leaf being number one, and it was about time that came to an end. As Naruto focused on the 5 doors, there were 5 doors in front of them leading to another room. 5 other rooms it seems. As he wondered what the first phase of the exam would be. Hey, look who's here, said a voice. The group turned to see Kiba, Shino, and a girl named Ami, as she was the 3rd member of their team. As Kiba gave them a smile. Troublesome, said the voice. As Shikamaru came in along with Choji and Ino, Naruto-kun, Ino said as she rushed over, as she jumped right on his back. As 2 girls snapped their gaze towards her, that was Hanabi and Sahara. Neither of them said anything, but their gaze were proof enough that they were angry. As they turned their head to make sure no one noticed that. Ah, Ino. It's been a long time, said Naruto. How have you been? Happy to know that you're here. I knew that you guys would be taking part in the exam as well. As she did not get off his back. Well, he didn't really mind, to be honest, as she rested her head on his shoulder. So you guys are here as well, huh? Said the voice. As the group turned, as Naruto noticed Neji, Tenten, and Lee. Ah, Neji. So you're taking part as well, said Hinata. Yes, Hinata-sama. Well, I hope that you've been working hard. You surely don't want to be a disappointment to Taiga-kan, now would you? Being a bitch already, are you? Said Mito, as she snapped her gaze on Hinata. I mean, he's your family, you know that, right? This does not concern you, said Hinata, so stay in your lane and do not interfere. Mito shook her head as Naruto noticed something. A soft smile came on Neji's face, as he glanced towards Mito as she saw that look as she turned away, to not make it obvious. As Naruto raised eyebrow at that, but he did not say anything. Ah, Naruto. As Lee rushed over to him and took his hand. Long time no see, he said. How are you doing, my rather youthful friend? It seems that they knew each other. As Naruto patted him on the shoulder. I'm doing quite well, he said. I heard about your recent activities, that you were able to defeat one of the great 7 ninja swordsmen along with your sensei. You have truly grown, my friend, said Lee. But I expected nothing less. I hope we can both show our flames of youth in this upcoming exam. As Naruto gave him a nod. Hey, you wouldn't happen to bring back Sabuza's sword, now would you? Said Tenten. His sword? You know, I don't really know what happened to it after he died. As Naruto did not have the slightest idea. Come on, to a legendary blade, how could you have left it behind? Sorry, swords are just not my thing. Hello there. As Naruto turned to see. What the hell, he thought. Can I have a moment of your time, please? As Naruto was surprised who it was Kabuto. What do you want from Naruto-kun? Asked Ino. In private, Kabuto asks. Yeah, sure, said Naruto. Ino, would you mind? She pouted, but she climbed off his back. Okay, but don't take too long, she said. Jumping all over him and acting like a fangirl will make the other teams think that we're weak, said Sahara. Well, they can go and screw themselves for all I care. I haven't seen my Naruto-kun for a long time now. So he's your Naruto-kun now, said Mito. I didn't know that you two were dating. As Hanbi listened closely on the conversation that was going on. Well, we're not. Yet. But once this whole thing is over, you can trust that we'll be. And we'll be like sisters. You wouldn't have a problem with that, now would you? Asked Ino as she smiled at Mito. Well, you're a good girl. As long as he's okay with it, I don't see why not. As Sahara frowned. As Shikamaru noticed that, but he said nothing. So, Kabuto, said Naruto over to the side. How can I help you? My master, Urkai. She told me that you are helping us. Oh, shall she inform you? Yes. Here. As Kabuto gave him a paper. What's this? Several individuals in this exam that Urkai would like to have in her possession. She would like your help to take them down. There's a secret place in the forest of death where she would like you to put them until the exam is over. She's asking for your help in this one. So, can it be done? As Naruto looked over the paper. Well, she has helped me a lot, said Naruto. And besides, we're partners. They do help each other. So yeah, it's not a big deal, said Naruto. I'll get it done. As Kabuto nodded, I will be off then. And with that, Kabuto moved. As Naruto was returning back to the group, he saw the sound ninjas and he wondered, know that Urkai was not in control. Who was in control of sound? It got him curious. But before he could do or say anything, alright everyone. As one of the door opens, to show Ibiki Marino as he stepped out. He had this look on his face, as he looked at them like they were nothing but praise, and he was a wild predator to basically kill them. As Naruto stepped forward as the others joined him, I will be the proctor of the exam. What I say go, because I'm the leader here. Go against my rules, and you will be barred from this exam. Or even worse, you have all signed the consent form so you know that you can die. As he looked at all of them, some of them start to tremble a bit, some of the more idiotic few. As Naruto simply smirked as Ibiki noticed that. Confident are you, brat? I hope you don't let it get to your head. You think your pathetic exams scare me? Ibiki raised her eyebrow, as many were shocked that Naruto actually said that. Mito sighed. What's up with him today? Well, it should. You should know that 50% of the participants never get to the second round. As Naruto stepped forward that smile. Well then, why don't you bring it on? Oh, I'm gonna enjoy being your proctor for this exam. You talk a lot. Let's see if you can back up your words. As Naruto smiled. Let's, shall we? Alright then. As the Chonins came out of the other rooms and handed out a piece of paper, numbers on them. The numbers is when you will go in. 1 to 5, please step forward. As Naruto saw 5 individuals step forward, as they stepped in front of the doors, as it had the door number on them as well. Alright. Step through that door and the exam begins. As the participant did so, after a few minutes no one heard nothing. But then, blood-curdling screams could be heard, as it scared many of the participants inside. It wasn't normal screams, it was like someone being tortured for dear life. When it finally came to an end, Ibiki smirked, next, as he saw many of them shivering to get to the front, now completely afraid. As many more stepped forward, next, more blood-curdling screams as people start to lose their composure and some of them stepping back, as they didn't want to go in that room. Next, as Naruto looked down as he was next. Be careful, said Sahara. And don't do anything stupid. If you can't handle it, leave. Don't go and get yourself killed, she said to him. As Naruto patted her in the head. Come on, it's me, he said. I'll be just fine. She's right, you idiot, said Mito. Be careful. I said next, Ibiki said, as Naruto stepped inside a few others beside him, which was Kiba. Shino was over to the side, as Kiba gulped. Well then, let's see what we have to do, huh? As he was sweating a bit. You probably won't make it, said Naruto. What? Said Kiba. Well, you're already afraid, said Naruto as he stepped inside. Once he stepped inside, he saw a chair in the middle of the room. Ibiki entered with a smirk. I think I'll take this one, he said. Sit down. As Naruto sat down in the center of the room. So what's going on, Scarface? Asked Ibiki, eye twitched at that. Enjoy your fun, kid. So let me inform you what's gonna happen in here. Being a Chunin means leading a mission with a few Genins under your charge, or even leading a 4-man Chunin team. And sometimes you can get captured. Another village would want you to be tortured for information. That is why we have to get your resilience up. We have to make sure that you're ready for this. We can't have any crybaby idiots going out there in the field and losing your composure and giving away everything, and even your mission protocol. So until you're rescued, you should keep your head and information stable, or until you're killed. So what are you gonna do? Torture me? Mentally, said Ibiki. You have 1 minute. If you're able to keep going, you pass the first phase. And let me tell you something, Brett. This is the easier phase of the exam. So, mental torture it is, said Naruto. Boring. You're quite something, aren't you? Well then, let's see how you cope. As the man slammed his hand on the ground as a seal appeared on Naruto, the next thing he knew, his world went dark. As he could feel the seal forcefully shutting down his mind, he could overpower it, but what's the point of the exam then? As when he opened his eyes, he found himself in his house. As he saw a dead body on the ground. As he looked forward to see his mother, his sister, and his father, all of them being held at the throat. The dead body was Nenma. As Naruto saw his parents, and standing behind him was a few ninjas, no masks. Their face was common, cold as at his parents' throat. As the man stepped out from the corner, as Naruto looked around as he realized this genjutsu was supposed to make him forget where he was. He was not supposed to know that he was in a genjutsu, but his mind was too strong for that. So he knew exactly what is going on. If he was someone else, he would not know what is going on, as he found out that he had information in his head. Alright, brat, the man over the corner says he had an X on his face. A scar that seemed like he recently got. As Naruto had a cone in his hand, he noticed that. Give us the information, now! As Naruto knew exactly what he was talking about, the genjutsu placed the information in his head. The information was something secretive to Konoha, and if this man got it, well, Konoha would fall. Should he risk 3 lives for the life of thousands? Everyone in Konoha would die if he handed over the information. This was a rather brutal test. He liked it. Alright, said Naruto. Now, tell us what you know. Alright, said Naruto, please, just don't kill them. If you give us what we need, we won't kill them. Naruto, please, tell him what you want to know. Don't let him do this, said Kushina. I won't, Mom, said Naruto. Now, the information that you need to know is... Come, closer. The man came closer, until Naruto reached to his ear. As Naruto reached out and bit it clean off, the man stepped back in shock as he gripped his bleeding ear. This. You think this would scare me? You think this would set me back, said Naruto, as he decided to have a little fun. Back in the real world, Ibiki was watching Naruto's face as it turned into a smirk. What the hell? The next thing he knew, boom, he was slammed viciously through the door, as a violent wave of chakra exploded from Naruto. Ibiki crashed into the wall as 7 examiners rushed over to him and few of them ran towards Naruto as well. As Naruto stepped forward with a smirk on his face, I guess I pass. Ibiki picked himself up with a groan. What the hell? As he looked towards the brat, as he was completely fine. One of them motioned for Naruto to come with him, as he was taken to the other door, so the examinees wouldn't know what was going on. As one of his charge spoke, what just happened? Ibiki was confused. I don't know, he said. Something hit him, but he didn't see anything. He picked himself up. The kid. He's a strange one. Well, he's the son of the Hokage. Nah, something's just different about him. Ibiki has been through a lot, him being the head of Konoha Torture and Interrogation Department. But that kid, there was just something off that he couldn't put his finger on. As Naruto proceeded to the next level, as he then saw Kiba or the others, he wondered if they somehow failed. Well, considering how Kiba was shivering at the thought, not knowing what was beyond the beyond. As Naruto saw several others when he stepped out, so these were the few that passed. As he saw a Kumo team, a team from the Hidden Rain. His exam was over quickly because he decided to destroy the illusion, but if he had not, a group of Konoha ninjas would have rushed in and saved everyone. As the exam was just a hold on long enough to make sure that you did not give. What was going to destroy your village? It was the same for the Rain Ninja, it seems, as the Genjutsu along with the seals piggyback on what they fear and the people that they love. If they hold on for long enough, someone would come and save them. But if you gave up, well, the ones that you love would die. And Konoha, or your village, whichever village that you're from, would end up being turned into dust. And you would watch it all unfold. Well, that was surely a way of messing with someone's mind. This exam was much darker than his. Well, that was good. As Naruto walked over to a piece of rock as he sat down, and closed his eyes, as he could feel several eyes on him, but he did not pay them any attention. Some time passed as the rest of the teams came out. As Sahara came out, she looked a bit off. It must have really affected her, given her past. But her mind was in one piece. Mito came out a moment later, as she looked a bit off as well. But at least she passed. Well, the examiners were trying to give them the will to go on, and they had it. As the rest of them came out, Sakura came out as well. She looked more stronger than the other two. Hinata and Hanabi came out, as they looked more resilient as well. Once all of them were gathered, Naruto saw her. Uncle in a rush as she popped up out of nowhere, as she had this smirk on her face, really enjoying all the torturing that was going on, as she could smell most of their fear from what they just witnessed. "Come on, kiddies," she said. "It's gonna get a lot harder than this. You guys have the option of giving up right now. And be better prepared next time for June exams. So you can leave if you want." Said Uncle, "I'm told that I have to give you this option to see if you will quit, so what do you say? Leave and return next year or so. Or stay and enjoy the fun," she said. As Naruto glanced over as Neji and the others were there as well, as he saw a few ninjas raise their hand, some of them giving up as their minds was already messed up after witnessing what they just witnessed, and if things continued like this, they were sure that they wouldn't make it. "Cowards," said Naruto, as Uncle appeared behind him. "Ah, Naruto-kun," she said, as she gave him a smile. "You shouldn't be calling anyone coward. I mean, you don't know what the exam have in store for you. What if they're making the right choice? What if everyone from now on die?" As Naruto glanced up towards her, she seemed to know him quite well. After all, she was dating his brother. As Naruto gave her a smile, Uncle was surprised as he saw a look in his eye that she didn't see in most people's eyes. "Well, you're having fun, aren't you?" "It's delightful," said Naruto. "Now that's the spirit," she said. "I hope you do survive this exam. I would like to see you in the finals." "I hope I do as well," said Naruto, as he matched her smile with his own, when no one else was going to give up. "Alright, kiddies, follow me," she said. "What was that about?" said Mito. "Why are you acting so crazy?" "Come on, I'm just having fun," said Naruto. You call that fun? Didn't you just saw what happened back there?" "It was clearly an illusion." "How do you know?" she asked. "Didn't the seals mess with your senses? I mean, I didn't know." "Guess I'm stronger than you," said Naruto, as she glared at him. "You're alright though?" he asked. "Yeah, I think so." As Naruto patted her on the shoulder, "Don't worry. I won't let anything happen to you in the exam." "You don't know if we're gonna be sticking together," she said. "And besides, remember, we're not in the same team." "Yeah, but I can make you a promise. You won't die." "And how do you know that?" "I hear that this second part is the most difficult and really dangerous. Just have confidence." "Well, I always have it in you before, so why give up now? But I'm gonna be out there to save your ass as well if you get into any trouble because you've been acting crazy. So, prepare yourself to be saved by me." As Naruto chuckled at that, before he turned his head. "Are you alright?" he asked as he looked towards Sahara. "Yeah. It was just a lot." "What about you?" she asked. "Oh, I'm just fine. Don't have to worry about me. You know, if you're hiding what you truly feel because you're afraid, I can understand that," she told him. "Afraid? Me?" He burst out laughing, causing everyone to look at him. As Naruto calmed down, "Sorry, it was just amusing." As he glanced over, "Hey, what about you?" he said, looking towards Hanabi. Hinata scoffed. "She's quite fine. and she doesn't need you checking up on her. I'm fine, Hanabi said as she looked towards Naruto, surprised to see him talking to her out in the open. Without any sarcastic remarks or anything like that. Well, they were still a part of a team, so it would seem like he was just checking on her because she was a part of his team. I must say, Hinata, said Naruto. What? She said to him. I'm really loving the bitchy attitude. As Naruto noticed as he turned his head, his sister glancing towards Neji, and Neji glancing back. A thought then popped into his head. Yes, Mito had her first kiss before. And then Naruto remembered that they were rather close to the Hyugas. Could it be? As Neji saw Naruto gaze on him, as he turned away, he was a lot different in this timeline, more subdued. There was no talk about fate as he had heard so far. Lee was practically the same. Tenten as well, he didn't have so much interaction with her. Sakura seemed completely fine, as she was strutting on. As they arrived to the Forest of Death, who would have figured, he thought to himself. But something was off about it. The sounds coming from inside, inhuman screams. He heard roar, like tigers, bears, many other things inside. You heard that, kiddies. Just let you know, there are some nasty things in this verse. As she pointed towards the sign. As the sign showed that you are not supposed to enter. On a daily basis you wouldn't go in there, but this is a Chunin exams, where you have to survive in the worst territory imaginable. You have to survive while being hunted, chased. In there, you become the meat. So watch yourself, or you all will die. The form's already signed, so there's no problem of you dying in here. And most of the time, we don't find the bodies. Just watch out for the man-eating beasts inside. As many of them gulp, realizing that they shouldn't have continued, as Uncle smiled at that, as she knew that some of them wouldn't survive. Well, they read through the forms. This was what it takes to become a Chunin. It was difficult. But after becoming a Chunin, more access will be open to them. And they will be allowed to get stronger than ever. That was Konoha motto after all. After Danzo Shamira took the mantle. The stronger the better. A ninja must always be willing to risk his or her life for the sake of the village, no matter what. Nothing should come before it, not even family. The village was always number one. Now those of you who still have your full team, line up. The rest of you, you're going to be a bit handicapped if your teammates did not pass through the first round. As Naruto glanced around good enough, he studied his whole team, as they were all separated in groups. As Anko and a few others stepped in front of the groups, as they start to tell them what is going to happen, as they were away from everyone else, so the others wouldn't hear. Now, the objective of this second phase is to gather a scroll in the Forest of Death. One scroll for each members of your team. The thing is, the scrolls are limited. There are more people than scrolls, so you will have to fight to get one. They're hidden in the Forest of Death. Don't worry, they're in plain sight, so you will be able to easily find one. Killing is more than welcome and allowed, so you'll have to watch yourself. Other teams will be out there gunning for your head and your scrolls. Each member must get a scroll to survive, but you won't have to just be worrying about members of the opposite team. You'll also have to be worrying about man-eating animals, creatures, and things that would tear you apart. Trust me, it's not a good place to be. But once you gather enough scroll for your team, head towards the tower in the center, where you will be rewarded by passing the second phase. As all the gates opened, as all the Chunins and Anko repeated what was just said to the others. And good luck. Try not to die. Or if you're gonna die, die in an open place. Sometimes it's a real hassle to find the bodies. As Anko smiled, her voice went off on all the speakers. The others Chunins nodded along. As he asked one more time if anyone wanted to give up. People decided to stay, as most teams believed that they could get the other scroll from the other teams. Alright, begin! As your section opened up as they moved into the forest. 15 minutes later, it's over there, said Hanabi, as she pointed toward the scroll. Having a Hyuga was really useful. As Sahara retrieved the scroll, that's one down. As Naruto glanced around as he heard all sorts of noise. Hanabi scanned the area. There's a lot of wild animals. A roar could be heard as they turned. A tiger is coming this way. As Naruto stood there, as he watched as the thing came out of the foliage, it was larger than any normal tiger. Whoa, it's huge, said Sahara. That it is, said Naruto. The thing roared as it jumped. It had this look in its eyes like it hadn't been fed for a long time. Sahara was about to go through hand sign, but Naruto stopped her as he held out his hand. As the tiger came inches away, before a force slammed into it. The neck of the tiger was snapped back as its body was hit violently. The thing was sent crashing through several dozen trees. Dead. How do you keep on doing that, said Sahara, as she looked at Naruto's hand. As Hanabi looked at him, she had her Byakugan activated so she saw it. How is that possible? As Naruto looked towards her eyes. Somehow, I'm able to release this force from my palm, said Naruto, spreading my chakra in a wide area. Yes, I saw it. But how were you able to control their chakra from expelling at such a dense rate? It shouldn't be possible. I don't know, said Naruto. Did they came to you like the others? Hanabi asked. Yes, said Naruto. As Sahara looked at him, well, it's a rather useful technique. Above us, as Hanabi looked up as a massive scorpion was coming down. This time Sahara went through hands and she breathed. A massive fireball that roasted the thing. A giant snake then launched towards them. Hanabi turned and she tossed a kunai right into its eyes, piercing right through them as the thing dropped, as she stabbed it through the brain, killing it. Let us go, she said. The group started to move once more, as she kept her eyes activated. She then realized something. Traps. Traps, said Naruto. Yes, this era, it's liquor with them. As she glanced around. You cannot hide from my eyes, she said. Who is it, said Naruto. A team from the waterfall. Village. As the team jumped out of the foliage, a distance away from them. Damn it. It's those Byakugan eyes. Raizetsu, what should we do? The team leader, a girl named Raizetsu, stepped forward. Simple. We faced them head on. They saw our traps, and we can't hide, so we take what they have. Well, before that though, the girl named Raizetsu stepped forward. Your two boys' team is behind her. Do you already have scrolls? If not, we wouldn't want to kill you for no reason at all. Hanabi, do they have any scrolls? Naruto asked. She scanned them. No. Pity, said Naruto as he raised his hand down towards the ground. The ground rumbled. Raizetsu and the others looked down before the ground rooted up, as all of them were picked up off the surface. As Naruto lifted and shook it with them, it slammed them viciously into a wall, as debris and rocks went everywhere. As Naruto accidentally set off one of the traps, or was it on purpose, a blinding light spread through the air, forcing Hanabi to deactivate her eyes. In that moment, Naruto switched with a clone of his. When the light cleared, is everyone okay? Asked Sahara. She looked around, her Sharingan activated to make sure that she did not miss anything. As Naruto coughed, here, he said. As she looked around, you set off one of the traps, you idiot. Sorry about that, he says. He picked up himself. As Hanabi blinked several times, as she regained her focus and her vision. Are you okay? She asked, as he was close to the trap. As she started to check over him, as Sahara noticed the way she touched him, so much concern on her face. She realized what she was doing and she backed away, as she glanced towards Sahara to make it not look too obvious. Are you okay as well? She asked. They know you care this much. As much as I hate to say it, we're on a team together. And I don't know what is to come, so I need your help, the both of you. As much as we don't get along. Alright, fine, said Sahara. We'll do this together as a team. Yeah, as a team, said Naruto as he placed both hands on each other's shoulders. Hanabi actually leaned into the touch a bit, but she did not make it look too obvious. Now come on, said Naruto. Let's go find those scrolls. Meanwhile, with the real Naruto, Raisetsu blinked several times, as she didn't understand what just happened. How am I alive? As she found herself being carried. As she looked up, how did you do that? He had moved so fast, and he was able to save her. Her teammates were definitely dead. Sorry, but you're on the list. What list? Before she could really say anything, she was entangled. As something held her, but she wasn't sure what it was. Next thing she knew, she was pulled away and gone. One down, said Naruto as he crossed name off the list. Now, as he blurred out of sight, time skipped. Sometime later, Urkai was within her lab, as she was currently in the forest of death. A lab deep underground that was connected to a series of tunnels that allowed her to get here. As the information on how to get down here was all on the paper that Kabuto had gave Naruto. But she was surprised. She never expected to be done so quickly. As she saw Naruto entering with several of his clones that was holding on to the several unconscious people that were on his list. I must say, you work fast. Well, it wasn't too hard, said Naruto. So what do you need them for? All of them are quite unique. I can assure that you took care of their teammates, that none of them noticed. Oh, don't worry, said Naruto. They're all dead now. Cold-blooded. Wonderful, Urkai said. Know that I have helped you out, said Naruto as his clones place the people away in all the cells all around. As this place was full with a lot of tools, beakers, and people inside as Naruto tapped one of the tubes. Does my father know that you're doing this? Not really. He had me done some things in the past that would have been frowned upon, but he has been getting soft ever since Danzo died. But still, don't count that softness for his ambition to protect Konoha. We still have our little group that I told you about, which X is in control of. Yes, that group that is messing with the elemental nation, causing so much havoc out there. And this X character, you still don't know who he is. Not the slightest clue, sorry. But I'm sure that things will be revealed soon. With the teams that are currently in the exam, I'm not sure, but I have a good feeling that the other villages would use this as an opportunity to strike back. Strike back, said Naruto. Oh, I forgot, you don't know. Well, many people don't know this, but your father, once he was under Danzo's control, he did some things to ensure that Konoha was number one. Slaughtered some people, and I mean a lot. Even good people, to put his point across. After all, he was the main reason why the Third Great War came to an end. Because the other nations were realizing that they were losing too much and they could not stand up against a man like him. He's quite dangerous after all. Yeah, I kinda got that, said Naruto. So do you think the other nations will try to get revenge on him? Maybe. But the exam will be a good place to do so, I mean. There are Genins already in the village, and the village will be open up for participants to enter, where you could sneak in a lot of enemy ninjas to cause chaos. You know, in my time, you were the one that did that. I? Yes. You attacked the village with the Land of Sound. Land of Sound, huh? Arashi Fuma. Who is that, said Naruto? The leader of the Land of Sound. Your father has bullied that village into submission. Most of their resources are being sent to Konoha. Your father is not just a leader of many villages. He's a dictator in a sense. People would never go against him because Konoha is too powerful. With the remaining Uchihas, the Hyugas, your father, the Sanins, me, per se, and many more things that we have. We have the ally with the Sand, but most of their missions are coming to us. So I doubt that the peace would last too long. Kumo hates us. The stone hates us. Hearing. I'm not sure how they feel. They mostly stick to themselves. But they had joined the war at one point. Realized that they were not gonna go too far. They had slowly declined their forces and returned back to their land. I'm not even sure who's the Mizukage over there. They're trading with some smaller nations around them. They're not pushing out into the others. So they're mostly isolated. Yes. And they're on the sea, so it's hard to get to them without being noticing. But some of their ninjas are here. Haven't you noticed? Well, you wouldn't have. They're in most of the other rooms. How many genins are taking part in this year, Naruto? It's a lot of teams. Perhaps 60 to 80 teams. You didn't think that your room was the only one, now do you? There are more ninjas out there. That is why I had you hunt these ninjas down. Did you not really pay attention to what was going on around you? I mean, were they in the same class as you? Now that I think about it, they weren't, said Naruto. Well, it doesn't matter, you got what you wanted. And no one saw me and their members are dead. So about this invasion, do you really think that's gonna happen? If it does, what will you do? Will you finally reveal yourself? I'm not sure, said Naruto. But I'm gonna need your help to gain something. Oh? And what will that be? When the time comes, I'll inform you. But for now, our partnership is okay. You have nothing to worry about. But sooner or later, I'm gonna be leaving Konoha to do some things. What about you? Well, there are many things out there that I want. Many things that I'm unable to get my hands on because of your father. So perhaps, I'll take a little vacation as well. But still be a Konoha ninja. After all, my former teammate Jiraiya has been away from the village for a while now. God knows what he has been up to. As Naruto chuckled, to think in my time, I would have been with him instead of you. But now, things have changed. But I must say I like it this way. After all, I prefer you over my Orochimaru. Why, thank you, Naruto-kun, she said. Now, why don't you go and enjoy the exam? Before it's too late. After all, I'm sure your team has already gathered their scrolls by now. As Naruto turned when he saw a few of the others waking up, Raizetsu looking at him, as her mouth was gagged. Have fun, Urukai-chan, said Naruto. Oh, trust me. I will, she said. Now, boys and girls, you've been brought here for a special reason. You're all unique in a way, and you're all needed. Meanwhile, as Naruto emerged, as he closed his eyes and really focused, as he could sense there was a lot of teams out here. And it would be a real drag to have so many people participating in the exam. It wouldn't be fun, it would just be long and boring. As Naruto closed his eyes, as the trees around him started to blow, tremble, the earth started to quake a bit. As his arms extended to his side as the leaves started to turn brown and shrivel up and die. As his whole being clashed with nature. As he took in a breath and exhaled. As his whole body seemed to just vibrate nothing but power. As he started to push himself up to see how far he has gotten. His eyes spring to life. But he could feel him losing them. It wouldn't stay awakened forever. But as his advanced Rinne Sharingan came to life, he stepped forward. The trees around him exploded outwards. They bend and they twist. Rocks turn into dust and reform into rocks. As he affected the air and space and time around him. As Naruto laughed before he stopped it. His power was finally returning. He was finally becoming what he once was. A god. Suddenly, a team landed on him from the grass. It's you little punk! As Naruto turned to see the big guy that he had thrown through the wall. Huh. I thought you didn't make it. Well, I did. And now you're out here. And you're all mine. Oh, is that so, said Naruto. Why don't you come? Stay back, guys. This one is all mine as he moved. He reached Naruto within a second as he launched his fist before it stopped, inches away from Naruto's face. What the hell? His fist uncurled as his fingers snapped. He screamed as his fingers turned and bent, touching the back of his hand. He released a cry of bloody pain as his whole body started to twist. As Naruto laughed his eyes, Rennie Sharingan focused on the guy. His body twists, his neck turned, his hands turned, his leg twists. As Naruto's eyes forcefully turned him into a ball, a sack of flesh and blood, as it was pouring down towards the ground. Its teammates were petrified as Naruto extended his hand to them and pulled them close. They smashed together as their heads exploded upon contact, as a shower of blood and rain spread, as Naruto laughed psychotically, before he released a wave of flames that exterminated everything. "It's time to hunt," he said. Meanwhile, in a secret room within Konoha, as Mikoto Uchiha opened the door and went inside. Inside that room was none other than Minato Namikaze himself, as he smiled. The look on Mikoto's face changed. That warm look as it changed into something different. It wasn't serious, but it was just different and strange. "So, Minato-kun," she said, "I expect everything is going according to plan." "Yes." As Minato pressed on the keyboard behind him, as a monitor was there. The monitor came to life. It was a body cam on someone. As it returned back to the force of death, the person who stood there was none other than X. As he pulled out a list, and on that list was names. Names of ninjas from other villages. Back in that room, as Mikoto sat down. "X, do you hear me?" she said, as he had the earpiece in his ear. "Yes, I do." "You know what to do. Get rid of them. At once." As X moved. But guys, be and subscribe right here. If you want to see this portion, do like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification say posted. Remember, share to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also guys, stay in tune for the rest of what is coming your way over Anime King. And also guys, on Anime King 2, I post a brand new episode of What If Naruto had cheat codes for reality, so go ahead and check out that and enjoy guys. So yeah, without further ado, I'm out for now. See you guys soon. Peace.